Hey, what's up, guys? Got another video here for you today. This is Tuned in Sports. I'm Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
Steve.
I'm Don.
And today we just wrapped up, well, at least for our teams, week 8 of the NFL season. And lots of stuff to talk about today. Some wins, some losses. So let's just dive right into it. Now, this week, there's only one person that actually hasn't let us off on this show before, and that is by starting with the Broncos. And boy, oh boy, what a week to start off with them. Holy crap. Talk about your ups and downs. A lot of downs, but then they pulled out some ups at the end. Insanity. I couldn't hardly believe what I was watching, but man, craziness.
Yeah, no, it's a joke for the Chargers. It's another week. Again, a young team just doesn't know how to close. And unfortunately, we were the beneficiaries, and we were lucky enough to somehow pull this out. Because even at the beginning, I think I sent you a text.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, here's the stats so far, and I think there was one like, hey, I fell asleep like 7 times.
Yeah.
Total 62 yards in the first half, and then it was just a complete joke. Offensive play calling is horrible. 3 and out.
Yeah.
Defense is playing well again, but as usual, right? Let's wear them out, and then they'll start giving up points, and that's what they did.
Yep.
And then again, the brain trust. Hey, let's start the guy with the DUI. Let's keep running Gordon out there. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, doesn't do squat. And then they finally put Lindsey in. Boy, he breaks off a 55-yard touchdown. Hey, we're back in this. 24-10 now. Hey, look, yeah, genius. Let the kid play. He's obviously better than Gordon right now. Gordon's good at the bar, apparently is what he did. But, again, Gordon did show up at the end of the game, made a couple crucial catches. One was for a first down.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, if I'm going to shoulder the load, I'm going to shoulder the load with Lindsey. He's proven it. But again, this is going to be another thing where they're just going to piss him off at the end of the year, and he's going to leave.
Yep.
Because he's actually gone above and beyond, and he actually cares. Where Gordon just cares about himself and drinking, apparently. So, but again, it was just lucky. Finally, Locke, made some plays. Finally, some of the young receivers, started to make some plays too, and circumstances had it that they were able to make them, and was we able to pull out a W in the last second. But otherwise, hollow victory, but good of them to keep going. They could have easily just gave up, just like the fans did.
Yeah.
But they stuck to it, and was able to pull one out. But I wouldn't sit here and go, look at the box score and go, oh, this is a dominating performance, and
No.
this is a shifting tide of all this greatness. It's a nice, way to let the team stayed into a game and was able to pull one out, but it wasn't a great performance by all means. It was just happenstance, and things fell the right way. Kind of the AKA, the old Mile High magic happened, I guess, and they were able to pull it out. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, though,
More of the same.
What a horrible game. No, it was just pathetic. It was bad.
Yeah, as long as the W on your record at the end, that's what matters the most. So, but definitely good to rally in the fourth quarter to pull out the win.
Yep. Yeah, he's pretty much said it all. In no way was this, outstanding performance or anything of that nature, but at the end of the season, you'll remember the W, or they'll look at the W on the record and not really think about how it was accomplished. So
yeah, and then we can look back and say, hey, we could have a 3rd round pick instead of an 8th round pick.
Well, that's true.
Damn it! What the hell did they do? We should have just lost that.
Yeah, that's true. But in the preview though, we did talk about this being a must-win for the Broncos.
Yeah.
So the fact that they pulled it out, if they want to do something, this had to happen.
Yeah.
not in this fashion necessarily, but the W on the record had to happen. So we'll see. But
no, I agree. I mean, it's. I mean, how they got there is kind of irrelevant. The point that they did is what matters at this point. I think it's a huge win for the coach. I'm sure he's been under some scrutiny. But with all the injuries and stuff they've had, it's hard to put too much blame on him. But, definitely a good win for the Broncos, and maybe they can continue to build off of it. And, having some inclement weather, it's not going to hurt anything moving forward. If they can get a little bit of that going, that might help them as well. So,
but again, they're lucky Bosa went out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Maybe Vic needs to get more times popped in the nose in the half quarter so he can bleed on himself, and maybe that might wake him up some of the play call. Whatever it is, whatever he did with coaching. But I mean, it was just you were just sitting there like they were dead on arrival. I mean, they were DOA. I mean, it was bad. I mean, they weren't even on the same field as the other team, and it wasn't even close. And then they were still, just running roughshod. But again, it was because defense was out there for most of the game. After a while, it's like, well, yeah, of course they're going to give up some points. But again, they were able to make, a hell of an interception in the end zone.
Yes.
To at least stop another scoring chance from the Chargers. And then they were able to capitalize it. And like you said, they just made plays for the rest of the game when they needed to make plays. And they pulled out a W out of it. But we'll see. Again, we'll see what happens with it. But again, it's nice to have the W, but I wouldn't feel too great about it because there's a lot of holes and a lot of work. That was with this game.
On the road at Atlanta next week, though.
Oh, hey, maybe they can get another 28-3 lead, or something up, and they can blow it too.
You can be the next meme.
Yeah, exactly.
You can be involved in it.
Yeah. We can roll that out.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's go on to the next game. The Bengals at home against the Titans, and pretty much from the jump, this really wasn't a game. Great job by the Bengals, especially the defensive unit. They did give up 112 yards rushing to Henry, but that was kind of expected. The key was going to be how they did with Mr. Tannehill, and for the most part, they kept him in check. Forced a lot of not good plays by the Tennessee offense, and the defense did a really great job throughout the game. And then, when Tennessee started to kind of try to make a comeback at the end, the Bengals, unlike the last handful of weeks, they scored right along with them. They actually outscored them in the fourth quarter. So that's exactly what they needed to do. And had they not done that, they would have lost just like they have done in the last handful of weeks.
And just look at this, though. They held them to 7 points till the fourth quarter. So Tennessee wasn't doing nothing. They were literally getting 3 and out, or turning the ball over. So I mean, that's definitely what really won us this game today. I think was the defense. I think the defense was really, very good. O-line play was just outstanding. I could not believe it.
The O-line won this game.
Yeah, the O-line ultimately.
The O-line, in my opinion, won this game. Hands down. They didn't sack Burrow one time. They did not have one starter playing on the line today. So that just makes me say it right now. Those guys that were on the line, you have no job. These guys that played today, continue on. Because if they're able to come out there and basically roughshot this and play against a very good team in the Titans, very good defensively, and come away with a victory and had no sacks, enough said. You need look no further than what the group was that was out there. The hell with these other guys. A bunch of overpaid guys giving up sacks. So, in my opinion, just keep moving forward with the group that's out there.
I mean, Burrow played great.
No.
2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I don't think we even turned the ball over once this game. Did we?
Not that I saw.
I don't think that we turned the ball over once.
Turnovers.
No,
0.
we didn't. No.
0.
And we dominated in time of possession, which is something that generally doesn't happen against the Titans.
That's how winning is done.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly right.
So, you know what? I'm just super proud of them. I mean, T. Higgins balled. The whole wide receiving, and then Auden Tate, he stepped in there, had 7 catches today. I mean, man, I can't be more proud of how they played today, and
This is the first.
Really happy going into the bye week.
This is the first of many to come for them. This is going to be the tip of the iceberg for them. I think the rest of the year, I'm not suggesting they're making the playoffs or nothing like that. They're only going to end up with 5 or 6 wins or 4 wins. I don't know, whatever it's going to end up at. But this is the first of many that you're going to find where they win games. This is exactly what this team needed. Burrow needed this to get a little confidence, learn how to close these games out. The defense played well. Offensive line, like I said, kudos to you. The rest of this offensive line, just go home, dude. We don't need you. They didn't give up a sack. Not one. Mm-hmm. So, as far as I'm concerned, these guys are the new starters.
Yeah,
the heck with these other guys.
Yeah, I mean, Quentin Spain, I mean, he's only been on the team for a couple of days. He came right in there and played great.
And it wasn't like it was against, the worst defense in the league. I mean, these guys are pretty good defensively.
Yeah.
So, I think it was a very good showing by the Bengals. I was happy to see it. And in my opinion, like I said, I think it's going to be, moving forward, the future's looking good here. Happy trails, Mr. What's his name that just left there? What's the defensive guy?
Lou Anarumo?
No.
Dunlap, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Happy trails to you, sir. We don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
He's in Seattle, though, isn't he?
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, no worries there.
No, this is kudos for the Bengals. This is one of those wins you hang your hat on, and hopefully you build off of it. So, great job for them. And again, it was a dominating performance. Even if the 100-yard, that still doesn't really matter too much. I don't think to me. They pretty much held them in check for most of the game. So, and then also I think kudos to the guy that's been eating crow and has been benched and looked over so many times with Bernard, right?
Yeah, Bernard. Yeah.
Bernard.
Yeah.
Kudos to him. 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon who? Again, the guy just been overlooked. He's been there. He's been through the bad times, and he's been overlooked every time. Oh, we're going to bring somebody else in. Oh, we're going to bring somebody else in. Oh, we're going to bring somebody else in.
Yeah.
And what does he do? Every time he gets calls on, he balls out.
And
I'm going to give you some words. I'm going to give you some yards. I'm going to give you all I can do. I'm going to catch the ball out of the backfield. I'm just going to play game.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. And so kudos to him.
Yeah, and another thing is third down efficiency, 10 of 15 today. I mean,
I don't think the Eagles have had that many third down conversions this season.
I mean, they went for it on 4th and 4. Converted that to 1 of 1. They did beat us in overall total yards.
That's
but
all right.
Doesn't matter.
What matters is what the score was, and that was what was important.
Yeah. So.
But that was just a great victory all the way around.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I couldn't be more impressed because I was expecting this to be possibly a blowout loss. So, kudos to the guys. I mean, I love it. Unfortunately, we're going into the bye week, so we're gonna, which having momentum going into the bye week is always a good thing. But then after the bye week, we head into play Pittsburgh, and that's gonna be a tough one as well. So,
well,
we'll
maybe
see.
You can get some guys back that were hurt, and
Yeah.
Probably be some offensive line. Probably be some of the offensive linemen coming back.
Yeah.
So Burrow can look forward to some more sacks coming.
Yeah.
Nah,
But
and I don't mean to overstate it. I mean, I realize that it was just, everything happened to be good today. And it's no fault of the guys that normally are there. It's just that these guys put a good game plan together.
Well, it might be though.
And the coaching was they coached it up. The coaches did a great job today.
They were very what's the word for it? Like very interesting with the offense. They had a really
pretty good game plan. Yeah.
I mean, they did a lot of play action stuff like that, and it just worked today.
No, that was probably part of the reason that offensive line played so good is that the offensive coordinator did a great job of coming up with a game plan that he thought would work.
Yep.
So that Burrow didn't get hammered, he could get rid of the ball quick and they could do, and it all starts with, like Don said about Giovanni Bernard having a successful day.
Are you trying to say there's a benefit to watching the tape?
No.
I might need to let Philadelphia know that. They might want to.
Yeah, Corey. As far as
no
the Texans, the Titans go, though, I mean, Corey Davis was balling today. We didn't do anything to stop him. 8 receptions, 128 yards.
Well, you got to pick your poison.
I honestly could probably say this was our best performance in probably two years. I
would agree.
I loved it. I mean, I couldn't be more proud.
Yeah, no, you should be. It was a good game.
Yeah,
for sure. There was not much too bad to say about that one.
Yeah. So,
all right, let's move.
Speaking of a bad game, let's go ahead and hop into the nice.
That's a nice way to intro it. It was a rough performance for the Lions today. They did their usual thing, come out, score before the other team, 7-0 in the first quarter. And actually they had an interesting stat today that said that the Lions are the only team that has came out and scored before the opponent in every single game this season. But their record is 3-4. So that kind of shows how well they're, maintaining those leads. But, that's nothing new for Detroit. Yeah. This has been pretty much the same thing since Stafford's been there, essentially. They, even the 0-16 team, or, 0-16 team had leads in the majority of the games. They just couldn't finish. And, this game, it was a very small lead, and it just was a bad performance overall by the team. I feel like
the funny part about this game, though, is they gave up 20 points in 2 quarters, but held them scoreless in the other 2.
Yeah, it's like polar opposites.
Yeah.
It's like you're either going to, we are either going to not be able to stop you or you're not going to score, depending on the quarter. But,
that's kind of funny.
It was just a difficult performance for the Lions today. Stafford had that one pass. He hit the guy in stride, the defensive player, for a pick 6 on the Lions side of the field, too. I mean, they were like on the 20 or something like that. Not good. But, in those situations, though, I mean, at that point, he was down by a ton. He was just trying to make something happen. He was having to throw the ball all over the place because, what choice do you have when you're down by that much? And unfortunately, when you do that, mistakes are going to be made, unfortunately. So, that difficult performance for the Lions today, and especially at home too.
However, they did win, and they did lead in passing yards. I guess that's maybe something positive, but
of course they're going to, because they were down by so much. They're throwing it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
they're throwing it double the amount of the other team. So
got pummeled in rushing yards.
Yeah.
Time of possession, they lost 15 minutes by over 15 minutes.
Yep, and then 2 turnovers. So
Yeah, rough performance for the Lions, though. Honestly, it's sad because I actually expected this to be one of the better games of the week. And then they come out and get pummeled because in the preview, I actually was like, you know what? This is one of the games that you should probably tune into because it's going to be close. And then here we go, 20-point loss for the Lions.
It's just typical. I mean, this is why they have the record they got. I mean, if they were consistent, they would be better, but they're not. So, I don't really see it changing. I think this is how the whole year is going to be. We're going to play 1 good game, 1 bad game, 2 bad games, 1 good game, and we'll end up with somewhere around 6 wins or whatever it's going to be, or 7 maybe. Who knows? But I mean, ultimately, there's just too many mistakes. At the wrong time. And for whatever reason, they can't seem to win a home game. Whenever they play at home, it's like a guaranteed loss. And that's where you should be winning games. But luckily the fans aren't there to have to,
withstand it.
To deal with it. But, whatever. It's there's not much to be said other than the fact that they just got outplayed. I did listen to the press conference with Matt Stafford and the coach, and Stafford pretty much said that I can't play like this and win games. So he pretty much took a lot of the blame on himself, even though there was more than enough to go around. The only thing that I will say that I'm still puzzled about is that week to week, this team never does anything consistently. 1 week they run the ball like champions. The next week, it's not in the game plan to run the ball. Or they take a guy that's running the ball real well and then he never sees it. And then, it just doesn't make sense in that regard. Like, to me, like, we talk about identity of teams all the time. And this team has none. Like, what do we do well? Well, we don't know. It depends on the week. But it's true. They don't ever do like if you look at like the Niners or whatever.
Tennessee.
They're just a physical team. Boom, we're gonna run it down your throat, whatever the deal is, right?
Uh-huh.
And that's how we're gonna survive. This team doesn't have that. It's like we don't know what we're doing. I know one thing: Matt Stafford's gonna pass it about 45 times, and that's about all I know. Everything else is a crapshoot. We don't have anything that we can lay our heads on and say, okay, this is what we do well.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. As frustrating as I am with it, it is what it is. And, like I've talked about since day one, I don't know that it's going to change under this regime. I just continue it. I can see this continuing on. Like, we're not gonna get consistency in anything. We're just gonna do what we do week to week. And I'm definitely not a fan of Mr. Bevel. I don't think he's done anything with this offense. I think there's a ton of weapons, and it's the same flipping struggle. The one thing I will say that he has done well is get the team off to good starts. Like you just said, the only team that's led every game.
Scored
so far
first
this season.
Yeah, that scored first every game.
And that's the one problem we used to have. We could never start quick, so we'd always be behind. Well, now we're starting quick, but then
can't finish.
But then it stops. Like today, 7-0, boom. Then we give up 20 consecutive points
without a response. Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever. I'm just gonna keep it at that and. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, no, this one here, it's one of those typical games that we see out of the Lions, right? It's something that they might be competitive, might be able to get it, and they somehow don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it compounds that maybe then Stafford has a bad game, but he's usually the one carrying him 9 out of 10 times. Mm-hmm. So eventually the odds are he's going to have a bad game every once in a while. And then there's nobody else there to support him. So when he does have those bad games, guess what? Oh, everybody blinks at him.
Yeah.
Well, it's not his fault. He's gonna have a bad game. Every player has a bad game every once in a while.
Sure.
You know, that's gonna happen.
And there's a big problem when he's the second leading rusher on your team.
Yeah. And you have
and he's got 10 yards.
Yeah, and you have Swift, you have Peterson, you have running backs. You don't have, Sammy Sewell and Gerald Wilhite. Back in the day with Elway, right?
Yeah.
You actually Sammy Winder. You actually have like brand names.
Yeah.
That's there with it, and so like you said, that's the thing that's kind of ridiculous with it. And then like you said, he throws a pick six. Well, that's gonna happen every once in a while, but again, there's nobody else to support him. That goes with it. So again, it's just one of those games where it's not playing your best, and then nobody else helps.
No, I mean the defense.
And then you get ran out of the building.
The defense didn't play well, and the offense, just played pathetic. So when you play the way they played today, you're going to lose a lot of games. I mean, you just can't withstand that kind of, offensive inefficiency, especially from the running game. I don't know. I didn't see what's his name on here. I didn't see the kid from Auburn. Kerryon Johnson didn't apparently either is hurt or they decided that he's not worth putting in the game.
Is Jamal Agnew?
But he did get 2 receptions. So my question is why didn't he get the ball in the running game at all? Like,
they ripped him out and let's plug in Stafford.
Yeah.
Is Jamal Agnew even a running back? Because he led the team in rushing. Is he even a running back or is he a receiver?
Yeah, and your running back, DeAndre Swift, 6 carries for 1 yard. He's killing it.
Well, there's a point to be made. There's a point to be made there, Ben. I agree. That's horrible. But, that's when is he getting the ball? There's a lot of factors involved with the rushing totals and the attempts. But to me, just looking at this, they totally abandoned it.
Yeah.
There
was no runs.
A total of 13 rushes the whole day. That's not enough.
That's bad. The defensive, we're going to say, we'll meet you back at the quarterback
Yeah.
because they're not going to run it.
Yeah.
Just don't even think about the run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just rotate guys in and just keep throwing them at them.
Yep.
Like I said, it's just one of those horrible offensive game plan.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah. I blame Devil on that. I don't know. I feel there's a lot of fans suggesting that Stafford should be out of there, and that he's not a winner or whatever. And
watch him go somewhere else and do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then their fans will be like, oh well, it's kind of like New England now. Yeah. Well, maybe it wasn't. Again,
No, exactly.
It's just like
it's
a different. Again, believe me, I know. At Hall of Fame quarterbacks, they're gone.
Yeah.
And what do I see? Freaking graphics of quarterbacks on a fucking carousel going quarterback carousel, watching everybody grabbing poles going up and down. You know what I mean? Because we don't have a quarterback.
No.
Every week.
Like I said, you don't know what you got until it's gone, and when it's gone, you'll know. Then you'll be back to like, hey, here's Hipple, or and everybody's gonna be like, hey, why don't we have a quarterback? Well, you did.
Yeah.
You didn't help him.
Yeah.
It's just it's horrible.
Yep. Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I not really. Yeah, like you said, just wait. When he's winning games in another city and, they're going to playoffs consistently and, they're a tough out every year and stuff like that. Well, you're sitting there with, we got Driscoll again this week or something stupid. Yeah, David Blow. You're like, boy, I'm so excited for this Sunday. It's going to be amazing. One last thing that I wanted to say about this game before we move on is that the receiver that they have, Marvin Hall, he actually made a couple of really nice catches. I'd never even heard of the guy, so I don't know where he came from or anything like that. But he led the team in reception yards. Most of it was on a big, long bomb, but still, I mean, shoot, maybe he needs to see the field a little bit more.
Well, no, they're just screwing him, so, when they get rid of Galloway or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy can fill in the spot for you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Jones will be gone.
Yeah, it's just horrible.
Yeah.
That's what again, it's just, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. This wasn't something I wasn't expecting. I mean, I knew that if things were going right, that the Eagles should take care of business in this game. But honestly, the score wasn't really an accurate representation of how close the game was, because I mean, it was pretty much 9-14,
15,
9-15 most of the game. So, it wasn't like the Cowboys weren't in it. They actually, had a couple chances where they were in position to score and just got either sacked out of field goal range or, So, overall, Eagles winning wasn't a surprise to me, and heading into the Giants next week for the Eagles, that should be another win, and they'll be 500 after this.
I wouldn't think that's a guaranteed victory myself.
Well, we actually have a bye week next week as well.
Oh, you do?
So there's a chance for a couple more players maybe to come back and then lose them.
You got to lose a couple in practice.
Yeah, exactly. Tearing ACL, getting onto the plane.
But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say this was a great performance for the Eagles by any means.
No, I look at this game. I'm not surprised that the Eagles won it. I mean, the Cowboys basically are basically non-existent right now. You're not facing the Cowboys. You're facing whatever it is they want to call what this is, but it's definitely not the Cowboys. Between the quarterback being out and then just the morale of the team right now, it's just a complete mess. I really thought the Eagles probably should have won by a wider margin than what they did. Wentz, 2 interceptions again this week. That's just tough stuff right there. Not suggesting that, never can have an interception, but it seems like a week-to-week thing where he's throwing picks.
He's leading the league.
He's throwing picks all the time, and I mean, it's just you're not going to go places with that going on. No, it's not all his fault. I understand. Some of those throws and stuff are under duress. But one thing that I heard on the radio today that kind of sums it up for me with him is since he came into the league, he's the most sacked quarterback right now. Since he came in 2016, was it? Or whatever it is?
2016, yeah.
Yeah. He's leading the league in sacks. So, with that being said, shame on the offensive line for allowing that many sacks, but that also tells you a lot about that chances are he's holding on to the ball too long. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not like, I mean, this is not the best offensive line they've ever had there, but since he's came into the league, the Eagles have been pretty solid offensive line wise, and for him to have that stat, I mean, I don't look at that as a situation like it was David Carr playing in Houston. I mean, totally different scenario. And I mean, he was playing on a Super Bowl championship squad for several years there. So whatever. I mean, I don't want to throw stones at him.
No, please do.
They're, far be it for me to criticize the Eagles when my team's never even seen a Super Bowl. So, but myself, I just think that if they want to turn this season around, Wentz has got to play better. He's got to play better than what he's doing, and I guess that would start by getting some offensive linemen back. But like I said, after hearing that stat, I was like, wow. Because if you think about all the bad quarterback play over the last several years or
A lot
whatever.
of it.
Yeah. I mean,
Just on my team.
if you just look at the bad situations that some of these quarterbacks have been in, I mean, and then to see that he's still the number one sack quarterback in the league, it's like, wow. And then the other thing that's shocking about that is you figure he missed how many weeks?
Yeah.
Right? How many weeks did he miss last year?
Well,
Or
last year
how
he
many
was.
times Foles came in to save his bacon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Last year he was actually healthy the entire season except for he got hurt in the playoff game. But the year before that he missed 5 games. The year before that he missed 6 games, including the Super Bowl. I mean, that's a crazy stat.
Yeah, I mean, considering
Yeah.
that's why it made it even more. And when I was thinking about that piece of it, I'm going, shit, he didn't even play most of the game.
I know you got guys like Jameis out there that playing full seasons and getting hit every which way, and he's got less sacks than Wentz.
I mean, that stat blew my mind when I heard that on the radio. I'm like, holy Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever, it is what it is. But, a good win for the Eagles nonetheless tonight. They needed to win this game. Now they're in pretty good position, to move forward with the division. I think, a week off is going to help maybe get some guys back on track.
And they'll have 2 more go out in the next game.
No, but, I mean, I don't think that Giants game is necessarily going to be a walkthrough.
No, we've already proved it's not.
I mean, I don't. And, I mean, the Cowboys are just a shell of themselves. I think right now the Giants are probably playing better than the Cowboys are. So I would think that you're going to be looking forward to a little bit more of a tough game there than what maybe was initially thought of. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on the Eagles.
No, he's coming up pretty much with Wentz now. I mean, I think now it's becoming evident that it is part line, part him.
Mm-hmm.
More and more, and right now, I think he's developing bad habits, and we're going towards becoming the second coming of Jay Cutler, where he's going to get ridiculed for all the stuff he's done, but he's never had really lines to protect him, and he's developed bad habits, and he needs to make plays, so he holds on to it, or then puts it in bad situations. So, and that's exactly what Cutler got. Because again, he just didn't have time, and that's where I'm seeing where this is starting to head towards with it. Because again, threw up another two interceptions, and it's kind of the same things, just the same rumblings you're hearing.
Yeah,
reminds me exactly of Cutler. So I don't see anything, miraculously changing overnight. So unless you can break those habits, but I don't think you can. It's really hard to do. That's what that. But tonight's game, again, they did what they needed to do. Walked off the field with a W. But it was a lot closer than what it should have been. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, if it wasn't for the, kickball at recess at the fourth quarter there, got a touchdown out of that. It might have been a nail biter. Coming to this. So, but again, they got what they needed to do. And this is the NFC East, so just move on. Take it as the NCAA tournament, right? Win and move on.
The best of the league.
Just win and move on, and do the best you can with the next one. So,
I'm gonna try my very best to keep calm during this, but as they alluded to, it was just absolutely putrid performance tonight. Second half, we were a little bit better, but all around, it was just ugly. 4 turnovers. It should have been 5. One of the times, the ball, Boston Scott was running it, and he got the ball knocked out of his hand, but it rolled out of bounds. Thank God. That's all we needed. Let me start with some positive things. First of all, defense. Throughout the night, they did a fantastic job. First of all, they held them to 3 field goals. Second of all, twice Dallas started inside the 30-yard line because of stupid plays by the offense. And both those times, the first time they sacked him out of field goal range. The second time, they held him to 3 points. What more can you ask for? Even at the end of the game there, again, like he said, if it wasn't for the kickball violation, stupid crap that happened, what happens. But regardless of the fact, they got inside the red zone and they did what they needed to do to keep them from scoring again. So, great job by the defense. Now, let me just read through some of the notes that I have here because, good Lord. First of all, first thing I have right here, and this was the first play, the first series the Eagles had. I have written down here, get rid of the ball. Have we heard that on this before? Have we heard that one? Held on to the ball and forced a fumble inside the 25-yard line on first possession. First of all, they do a stupid play on first down, goes nowhere. Second down, he holds on to the ball, gets sacked. Third down, he holds on to the ball, gets sacked again, except for he loses the ball and fumbles it. I'm like, boy, this is a way to start out. I mean, could we please watch what we've been doing in previous weeks? No? Okay, great. Next, Mailata as a turnstile. I watched that guy get absolutely blown up on play after play after play. People are talking about, DeMarcus Lawrence, that guy's a bust. We paid him so much money, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? He made Mailata look like a frickin' high school player out there tonight. I mean, that dude was running around him. Good Lord. It was horrible. Horrible, 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 horrible. Like I said before when Dad was talking, Carson Wentz is the most sacked player in the league. Horrible. But again, that's not all on the offensive line. Yes, it is on the offensive line on some plays, but on other plays, far from the offensive line's fault. Multiple times where he's just standing back there. Did you forget what offensive line you're playing for? That's the only question that I have. Week after week, you're getting 8 sacks a game and stuff. I mean, come on. What is this? If Jalen Hurts comes in and causes our offense to go backwards one more time, I am making the executive decision to trade him to the Lions for a 7th-round pick. I am serious. This guy, every time he is in the game, we go backwards. And they keep putting him in. At the end of the game, we're going for a 2-point conversion after the kickball thing. And we put him in at quarterback again. And I'm like, what are you doing? Now, listen, Wentz has not played great. But how much are you paying him? You're paying him all this money to sit on the bench when the game matters? I mean, at this point, if you don't think that he can handle the pressure, whatever, then look somewhere else. Move on from him. Because you're paying him so much money to be on the sidelines or be uninvolved in the play, just standing off in the corner and thinking that you're going to do some trickeration. That's not going to happen because last time you tried it, you almost threw an interception. Come on. Get real. Horrible. Another fumble because Wentz thinks he has all day. Everyone could see he was blitzing except him. There was one play where seriously, it was like 4th down, I think. They were going for it, and it was an obvious blitzing situation. The dude comes running around the corner, just absolutely blasts him right in the face, and he fumbles the ball. Well done. Just beautiful. I mean, come on now. Again, how many times do I have to sit on this frickin' channel and say that you don't have time to sit here and read through all your progressions and all this other stuff? Get rid of the ball. Throw it. That's all you need to do. I don't care if your throw is throwing it out of bounds. At least we're not losing yards. At least we're not losing yards. But he can't even do that correctly because on one of the plays, it looked like he tried to throw it out and he threw it to the defender. But then, of course, the guy happened to be out of bounds, so it wasn't an interception. But, I really think he hit more guys in white jerseys than in green today. So, yeah, that was just horrible. Last thing that I'll talk about, because I'm just getting pissed off reading this. 9 rushes for Boston Scott. 9 rushes for Boston Scott for 63 yards in the first half. The dude was basically getting like 5-6 yards a carry, and half the time you'd see him on a couple of plays, and then they just didn't use him again. I'm like, okay, you've got a quarterback and stuff that's turned the ball over 4 times, and I believe that was all in the first half, at least 3 of them. Run the ball. Is it that hard? I mean, Jesus, how many times do you need to watch him, throw it to the other team before you just say, let's just pound the ball? I mean, Boston Scott was playing great in the first half, minus that stupid play that he had there. Another thing, how many times are we going to go for it on 4th down? We've converted this season, going into the game, a quarter of the 4th down attempts that we've had this season. But yet, guess what? We went for it on a couple of occasions where we really didn't need to because we were in the lead. We went for it. How many of those did we convert? 0. We didn't convert any of them. Well done. Great job, guys. Really appreciate it. Just wonderful football to watch all around. I just love it, I mean, it's just lovely. And, yeah, it's just horrible. And then the last one was, we talked about a handful of weeks ago about the Eli Manning pass. Carson Wentz had one of those today where it was just like, woo! Launched it all the way downfield. Didn't even come close. Not even close to the defender. I mean, not even close to the person on offense. It was basically like he was throwing a streak pass to the defense. And I'm like, hey, buddy, we're in green this week. Apparently he didn't get the memo. So I don't know if he's colorblind or he's trying to tell us that he wants to be traded. But one way or another, try hitting the guys in the green once in a while. It was just an ugly performance overall. We won the game, but it was a lot worse than it should have been. We're playing a team that just got annihilated by Washington last week, got annihilated by Arizona the week before, and we were in a nail-biter all the way up until 4 minutes into the 4th quarter. Pathetic.
Third-string QB.
Third-string quarterback. I mean, good God. We had Chris Collinsworth praising the crap out of this dude all night long. And I don't understand how. I mean, I've been saying good things about the Eagles over the last handful of weeks. I wasn't incredibly impressed by their performance against the Giants, but they came back and won. They came back against the Ravens. They came back against the Steelers. I've been saying good things about them, and I wasn't even upset when we lost those games because I'm like, you know what? I'm seeing fight. I'm seeing heart, and I am seeing a lot of positive things going on. And when we start facing some lesser teams, I think it'll start showing. Where is that? It's not showing at all because we're in tight games with these teams that suck. And best thing that I can say is I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's what we are, week to week. Somebody's injured. Somebody can't play for this reason or another. Somebody's out for personal reasons. Somebody clipped a toenail. Somebody's doing this. Somebody can't, do this correctly. And then when we gain players, we either lose as many, if not more. We got Jalen Reagor back today as well as Dallas Goedert. Awesome. We got 2 more weapons for Wentz on offense. Well, then Darius Slay goes out with an injury and somebody else. So now, we got Avonte Maddox hugging some guy the whole way down the field and then flexing at the end of the play like he's some bad dude, then turns around to find out it was a pass interference and can't understand why it was thrown. Like, hey, how about you practice social distancing or something because apparently you don't understand how to play defense. Maybe your hair's in the way. I don't know. It's just pathetic. But last thing I'll say is Jalen Reagor definitely, I liked what I saw tonight. He only ended up with 16 total yards, but he made some important catches, and especially the pass for them to take the lead that he caught in the side of the end zone. Beautiful effort by him. And also on another play, a deep ball down the field, he made an incredible effort to try to catch the ball. Just, he didn't have complete control of it, and the Dallas player knocked it away. So, like Don said, great effort on both sides. The offensive player and the defensive player didn't work out, but I did like what I saw from him first week back.
Yeah.
Well, good thing. The good news is though two of our teams get to head into the bye week with a victory, so that's nice.
Don't be looking at me while you say that.
Yeah.
No, I was looking at Bryson because his team's on bye week this week too. So
Yep. Yeah. So next week we can break down the DENT Sports crew games specifically, while the rest of us just sit here and
Yeah, then
Have some good laughs.
Yeah.
Then the next
There's
week.
a lot of breakdowns.
Yeah, then the
Don't
next
miss it.
week we get to go have fun with the Steelers, who have beaten us like the last how many times we played them. So it's gonna be great.
Yeah. But hey,
however,
that's next week. Right now we're talking about this week. 3 wins at the table, 1 loss, and we'll just keep moving forward. That's about the only thing that we can do.
Yeah.
And
However, I do got a little bit more confidence after this win against the Titans.
yeah, well, you should. If you don't, I don't know. So, all right. Well, with that being said, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, all that happy stuff. You guys know the deal. My name is Bryson.
Bennett.
Steve.
Done.
And we'll see you guys in the next video.